Well, hello there, everybody. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time it is for you, where you are. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to a fresh, brand new, sparkly, shiny morning Hazel stream, where I am gonna do everything within my power to make the Gale Spirit pet drop. It is the last of the 4 Zap Throttle Soul Inhaler spirits. I have 6 soul inhalers now, because I've just sent another one to another priest that I have that should have enough gear to cope with this. And we are going to set up a big ol' rotation. We tried like 50 some odd times already, and it is a 2% drop chance. So like, you know, we've been at it. And today is the day, unless RNG really hates me. But I'm going to make sure that if it wants to really hate me, it's going to have to really hate me. Brute force that drop anytime now. Is that teleporter there this whole time? The one that pops you to the top of the tower? Yeah. There's also fast travel, like these purple fast travels. You can unlock those with the Dragon Scale Expedition. And those are account-wide unlocks as well. I think I'm going to use one of those to cheat my way back out to the far side too. Although, I thought about getting I should probably get flight paths. Blarnicus has never really done the tours, so he's missing some flight paths. Illidari Nico, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. How much did you spend? I haven't added up the gold, but Flabby has, our sponsor Flabby has supplied some soul inhalers with his engineering. I paid him for some of them, but I'm pretty sure I owe him another 1,000 gold or something like that. What is the best expansion to level in for a first character? Don't care about the story. They're all fine. they're all totally fine. If you're not fussed about the story, any of them will do. People in chat will give you a variety of different answers. I always do Cataclysm, but that's just because where I'm comfy. The expansion that you're most familiar with is probably a good bet. We want to head out up to this way. That's right. That's right. Yeah, there's a spreadsheet of my add-ons there. I need to update it, but it's not like missing a wild amount of things. It might be missing 1 or 2 things. Hello. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Scarlett. How are you? Happy Sunday. Okie dokie. So I need you. We're gonna hope for the best. The process, if you've never done it, the Zap Throttle Soul Inhaler is an engineering item that is BOU, bind on use. So you don't need to be an engineer. You don't even need to know an engineer. You can just buy them on the auction house. You have to have soul cages, empty soul cages, to power it. Those are crafted by jewel crafters and can also be bought and sold in the auction house. And you channel it on a mob. You want to full channel it and then kill the mob within 30 seconds, and that will give you a soul. And then in 15 minutes, like if you open it right away, you'll just get some of the element type that's associated with the element. But if you wait 15 minutes, it'll give you like one of these special soulbound soul reagents and a chance to drop the pet. So, we have a 15-minute cooldown after each character, which is why we have set up a variety of characters. My other characters should have... Actually, I'll probably go get one set up on... Well, now let's start opening them. Let's get the cooldowns rolling. Looking forward to time walking next week. Ducata just for the classic dungeons. Go fast. Been told WOD's fast. Raid guides have been really good. Well, thank you very much. What kind of time walking is it next week? So, this is the next character I'm going to set up with the Soul Inhaler. I sent her one, I just have to move her out to the right spot. But for now, I think we can pop onto 1, 2... Yeah, let's put him to the bottom of the list. Because these ones will have some souls ready to open. Because it's possible that we could just crack open a soul that we inhaled at the end of last stream. And then just get the pet. And then we're going to have a new project. You're streaming. Hello. Hello. How are you? Happy Sunday. Alrighty. This will be my 53rd attempt, evidently. But I think I'm going to tone down the drum on the drum rolls because I'm planning on having a lot of drum rolls today. We have enough soul inhalers now to keep a pretty much continuous grind with no downtime. In the time it takes me to open a soul, get another one, and log on to the next character. Doing about 6 of these should take about 15 minutes. So we just need to find, especially if I'm competing with myself, for Colossus spawns. There's a few of them. There's this. CCing it before you channel can be helpful because they do various attacks that can interrupt your channel. And if they interrupt your channel before it finishes, your Soul Inhaler's on a 15-second, 45-second cooldown, which is kind of annoying, so you'll see me opening on a lot of these mobs with like a Psychic Scream or a Sleepwalk, or if I have anything anyways. Not all my characters have a good CC like that. Okie dokie. And then, yeah, there's another Colossus there. So let's pop her back up on the ledge. Get on to the next character. It's going to be a lot of logging in and logging out, but this is how we're going to make it work. Today's the day, I believe. Much drum rolling if you overdo it. Gotta hurt your squeezers. Hate to damage this pristine, exclusive, never-before-seen manicure of 2 different shades of blue. The people have never seen creativity like this. We gotta preserve it. Alright, it's Elixia time. Need to make a Horde character for fashion-specific things. What race should I make? I love Undead. I feel like they're so unique to anything that the Alliance has. If I had to pick only one Horde race, I would probably go Undead, but the Trolls would be right behind it for me. Blood Elves are popular, but I feel like we have Void Elves. Like, if you really love the model, you could already play something pretty similar. Oh yeah, I need to open mine, because I would have one, wouldn't I? Nope. That was attempt 54. There's always going to be one of these things. I got the first 3 pretty relatively easily, like in under 30, and in some cases under 15 tries. Like, it was not a bad grind for me getting the first batch of them, which makes me think that one of the 4, just by the law of fairness, has to be kind of a bit of a stinker. I want to Sleepwalk, and then I want to Soul Inhale. And then my Evoker has a Beacon. Gets the job done. Could always be a panda. True, could be a panda. Don't like the male Darkspear Trollback problem. But think of how easily they could fit underneath low-hanging trees, of which we know there's so many in the Echo Wilds. Yeah. Models can be harder to fit a number of items owning to clipping. Super excited for beacons to come back in the Fated season. Oh my word, I forgot beacons are going to come back in the Fated season. What other trinkets and items were from Aberrus and Vault that I've forgotten about? Rashok's Heart. Oh, I feel like I just escaped Rashok's Heart. I don't want another Rashok's Heart. Punctualis, thank you for the 23-month resub. Happy almost 2 years. Hazel for the win. Tyndall Trinket is fun new beacon for me. Broodkeepers. Oh, Grief Torch, true. Grief Torch was funny because so many people in my guild ended up having a Grief Torch that the grief was just abounding. You know, you'd have like somebody would die and then all of a sudden like 8 players would just be spouting grief. Oh, it was beautiful. Hi, kitty cat. Welcome back. You want to come up and sit with me? You want to be my good luck cat? You're the best luck cat there ever was. Oh, sorry, that was my coffee straw. Hi. I got a fresh bag of food today. Big day. Okay. There it is. Nope. That was attempt 55. Let's get ourselves another one. We ended up letting people die to trigger it, then res them. That's gaming. That's clever. We didn't have anybody volunteer to die, but like somebody's gonna die sooner or later. I feel like if that season had progressed much further, people would have started plotting murders just to proc all of the grief torches. Start paying off the priests or evokers for some sketchy rescues and life grips. Okay. Don't do it, don't do it. Okay. Loving beacon for Mythic KJ, brain blow enough to skip during the ball jumping intermission. Dying's DPS loss would have to sack a healer. Yeah, who even knows why those are in the raid, right? Why do we keep bringing them again? It's crazy. Okay, so next, I think is scary. I think it's Death Knight time. It's so dark and stormy out here, but I think it's always dark and stormy out in this part of the plains. If I get this pet, I'm getting dangerously close to getting talked into playing SOD again. Mostly just because my friends need another player for their BFD run. And also, you know, and in a couple weeks the next phase is going to start. So, like, if there was a window to get in on the first phase, it's kind of closing. Like, the time is kind of now. I'm on the fence. I don't know. Maybe. Dragonflight Pathfinder. There's a Pathfinder achievement for Dragonflight that lets you use normal flying in the Isles. Alright, Templar 56. Nope. Perhaps the voice flourish isn't enough. Is there one in here? Yeah. Alright, so I just want to kind of do some of these things. Because I can't even be stunned when I'm in my Icebound Fortitude. Somebody mentioned that it would help with stuns, and I was like, there's no way it, like, prevents stuns, right? It probably just reduces their duration, and I would still get kicked anyway, but I looked into it, and it's like, no, it prevents stuns. That's bananas. So inspired by your scary journey? Rolling randomly? Doing endgame content. Thanks for the inspo. And hey, I got another character that's got enough gear to do this grind, so it wasn't all for nothing. Not that it would have been for nothing. I still had a nice time. She got a sweet trinket that I feel like she did. She's got a heroic rage heart. I feel like there must be people in the world that are like stabbing a voodoo doll of me with pins for that one. Getting a rage heart after you've already like retired an alt, just out of alt. A hero track one. And being like, I don't know. I don't even really do damage when I'm tanking. I don't know what that's for. I think there's probably some people putting out hits. You don't seem excited. I just don't know if it's a commitment, I think, is the thing I'm rolling over. It would be fun to hang out with people regularly. It would probably be fun to play SOD again. Let's move this one up and go log in and grab her soul and healer. But, like, it would be a big time commitment to get myself set up and playing and then to, you know, like, raid every week with them. And it's for, like, an undefined amount of time, and I don't know. I liked hardcore a lot, but that's because I was noodling around by myself questing in the woods. Didn't read the item, opened my cages right away. Oh no! Easy sod. Hardcore until you hit 25. I don't know. If I get like a warlock to like 20 and I die, we're not starting over. So I either give up the hardcore challenge or I just quit. So Voldraken. This character is at level 437. It should be enough to do what she needs to do. She's got last season tier as well. I was kind of running out of characters that I'd played this season already. I thought I went ham on alts this season. I had all kinds of characters that were like 450 plus from having played them for a couple weeks, but turns out all kinds of characters means 4. I had Barnacles, Inksy, Phaleria, and Scary are the 4 characters that I'd played at that level this season. Everybody else hadn't really been touched. But last season alts are more or less good enough. Okay. So we've got that. We need to head all the way out to... I guess I'm just going to take the fast travel. I don't really need to go all the way to the top of the tower. That's the reason I don't want to make the commitment. That's fair. I haven't done much classic. What is SOD? It's sort of... It's classic, but with new things added. New abilities and new stuff. New stuff. I'm really enjoying alts this season. On my way to my 3rd Keystone Hero, planning at least 2 more. Remixed classic. That's a good way of putting it. I had a dream last night. A dream/nightmare. Where I had for some reason applied via a Twitch chat command to be a judge for some kind of a Season of Discovery tournament event. And the event was like ready to begin. And I was like, wait, I don't actually know anything about Season of Discovery. I'm really underinformed. I'm gonna let everybody down and look like a fool. And I was like trying to like find Flabby at the last minute to like ask him questions about what, like there was a warlock spec that like damaged people with rotten fruit that I needed to know more about. And then also I needed to figure out how to play one of them for some reason, even though I was a judge. It was a very bizarre dream, but the The premise was I should know more about SOD by now if I'm gonna be part of this thing. Okay, I'm looking for a Colossus. We need that one. The rotten fruit one. It's just like a heckler. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. So, fear. Yes, yes, yes. The first time you have to accept the soul binding. And then we should probably, oh no, my PI. I need to get a new PI off my spellbook because my old PI is macroed to only cast when there's no mana present, and, like, no mana the undead mage. Flabiel. And no mana's not here, and I need to be able to PI myself. There we go. Alright, 1 Encaged Dairy Soul. Allison's in the rotation. We're on it. I had a dream last night that I cooked calamari. I put leftovers in the fridge. Later I realized I undercooked it. When I opened the fridge, the tentacles were thrashing. Quickly closed the fridge, try to think of how to clean up the mess. Gotta bind it to your soul to inhale somebody else's soul. True. Okie dokie. So now we can check on Barnacles and see if he's if his 15 minutes are up. So last night, in real life, not in the dream, went out, partner and I went to visit family for dinner, and did not bring Mr. Moose because it was going to be a while, and there was going to be like food on laps and like the baby, and it was going to be a bit too much to try to herd him, so decided to let him sleep at home. And one part of the trouble was that yesterday was just kind of a weird day. I took like a nap at a strange time. We just ended up like all off of our schedule. So normally he would have had like his big walk of the day by that point, but we were all behind, so he'd only had like a medium one. Anyways, we leave anyway, thinking like, well, we're gonna find out how he does at home by himself when he's not incredibly tired. And I get home, and it turns out he did destroy something. But what he did was he took, like, all kinds of normal things that you think dogs would chew up were fine. He didn't touch any of the shoes in the shoe rack. The furniture was fine. Like, his beds were fine. He took the indoor-outdoor mat that, like, you wipe your shoes off at the front door. This incredibly tough industrial-grade indoor-outdoor mat. He takes that, right? And he, like, moves it around, so he makes a bunch of mess with the dirt from it, which is fine. And then imagine that you're a dog and that you want to damage an industrial grade indoor outdoor like water hog mat for wiping your feet. Do you chew on the corner of it? Do you maybe try to like look for a weak point that you can like rip it up like a seam? Perhaps. Not Moose. Moose gnawed somehow, and I don't have footage, so I'll never know how he did this. He gnawed a hole through the middle. It looks like a bullet hole through the middle of this mat. and ripped that up. Talent, right? It was already on my list of things to replace when we move because he had already chewed up a corner of it at one point in his life, but it now has like a hole through the middle of it. I was looking at him like, I'm sorry, bud. I'm not even mad. Yeah, maybe he folded it, maybe he flipped it. I don't know. It was right side up, and it's big. It's like, this is like a 4-foot by 3-foot mat situation. Like, it would be difficult to peel it up and flip it, and then flip it back. I don't know what happened, but something. Thankfully, he didn't seem to eat any of the pieces that he gnawed out of the middle of it. They were kind of scattered everywhere. But yeah, he made a statement with that one. Any luck? Nope, that was attempt 57. Let's go get ourselves another one. I'm doing creative ways. Yeah. I wasn't mad. It was on me for being so off the schedule and for not taking them for like a really good walk before we left. But it's okay. Made floor mat poncho. The mat is now, despite the hole in the middle, cleaner than it's ever been in its life because all of that being dragged around really knocked a lot of dirt out of it. I had to do like a big vacuuming spree last night, but like it looks good now. Hole notwithstanding. And then the other silver lining was I was like, how expensive are these to replace? Because it's one of those things that belongs to the property and not to me. And turns out not as expensive as I thought. I thought they were going to be like 50, 80 bucks because everything is 50, 80 bucks here. But no, apparently you can get them for like 20, 15, 20, and like the same one. So I might just replace it, assuming that Mr. Moose is done with ravaging it. But there's an argument to be made for waiting to replace it until I move, so that I don't have to replace it again, you know, in case he has another. Now that he's learned that he can burrow through it, apparently. Yeah, he might have been trying to eat the dirt out of it. That's entirely possible. I have a dachshund mix. Lord Almighty, if his schedule isn't followed, he makes sure to let the entire house know of his displeasure. Yeah, we went for a big late night walk and got everything all sorted out. I think he's feeling much better this morning. He got up and he's like, "Mom, can we all go for a walk at the normal time? Please." Alright, so now, we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. If I was gonna send one more Soul Inhaler, Aerith is probably the next best geared alt that I have, because I also played her last season, so she might be like 420-ish. But if you get them too low in item level, you're gonna start running into problems where if you aggro extra mobs, you're gonna die. You're gonna have to start paying more attention. Okie dokie. Oh no, this one's ready. I think we've got a rotation here. Oh, that was attempt 58. But we're in our groove now. Let's find ourselves another one of these guys. For a moment, I thought that was another player zooming in to farm these also. But this is totally the way to do it if you only have like one pet left, or even 2 pets left, just to park some like multiple characters, because you don't need multiple Soul Inhalers. You could do this in just one character, but you're gonna have 15 minutes of downtime every single time, and that's just patience murdering. Okay, put that one there, and next character. I'm farming for the Gale Spirit pet. It's a battle pet that I don't have that I need it. Found you through YouTube not too long ago since I started playing WoW again. Like your content. Oh, thanks, Evie. I'm glad to have you here. Speaking of hawks, currently snowing a bunch. Everything's been turned into a winter wonderland here. I'm so happy and excited. It's embarrassing. Nah. Never be embarrassed about being happy. Super Bloom dropped a contract recipe, a druid glyph recipe, and a dragon riding appearance recipe. Holy. Aw, thanks for the prime sub, Evie. I appreciate it. We might get some snow here next week, like Wednesday, Thursday-ish, maybe. It's kind of unclear, but we might get a little bit of flurries. We'll have to see. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, that was attempt 59. But we're getting a new chance basically every, what, 3 minutes-ish? What is the range on Sleepwalk? There we go. Oh yeah, and then, Soul, oh, that's right, I'm not channeling it. Live in PA area, got a big snowstorm last night. Oh. In terms of personality, I think I'm 50% golden retriever, 50% human. Sleepwalk is a sleep. To, like a disorient, basically. Kind of like a paralyze. Baba B5, thank you very much for the 16-month resub. I don't know, it's not a free Amazon Prime sub. You still gotta pay for the Amazon Prime. Bezos gets his bucks one way or another. Had a bit of freeze here, still no snow. It's been getting chillier out here. I got lots of layers. I'm all set. Flurried yesterday, started dropping huge flakes an hour or so ago. Man, I'm a little jealous. Am I? Actually, I shouldn't be. I have like a quarter of 1 jug of milk. I need to get more supplies if I'm ready to get snowed in. Plans to try Baldur's Gate. I don't think so. I was going back and forth on it recently because it was a little bit on sale for the winter sale. I don't know if it is anymore. It was only 10%. I don't think so. I might go back and try SOD again. We're the Alley Dream Wardens in an alt. Got a sack of gold at 15k. That's pretty lucky. I love it when that happens. Okay, attempt number 60. Imagine if you had to wait 15 minutes between each of these attempts. I like the old flying map for this. It's more precise. I should use it on the rest of my alts. I think the dragon riding's just kind of stressed me out. I'm unsure of the gameplay for Baldur's Gate. I don't know if I would like the turn-based combat. I don't know if I would like it. The only game with turn-based combat that I've ever actually put a lot of time into is Pokemon, and that's a fairly different thing, I understand. I'm also, historically, gameplay is more important to me than story in a game. I don't always follow storylines and character development. I am a chronic cutscene skipper. So if the core gameplay loop isn't for me, then the story is not going to save it. Basically the same. What is it about Baldur's Gate that intrigues you? Mostly just that it seems like a really good game. Like all of the buzz around it seems to indicate that it's just like one of those games that doesn't come around very often, that is just like worthy of putting a ton of time into. Yeah, you can come back after the time it shows to collect your fish with the nets in the Dragon Isles. Absolutely. I don't play Pokemon Go anymore. I played it for 2 years after it came out, which was about a year longer than most people I knew. But then I had to quit because I was worried that I wasn't being very safe wandering around outside, because I wasn't paying enough attention to my surroundings, and I was outside. Oh, no luck on attempt 61. Oh yeah, I was gonna use her normal mount and not the dragon riding one. There we go. Get it? Return if you don't like it. No, that doesn't apply to you. I mean, Steam returns are more like me than store returns, because at least I don't have to go back anywhere. I ended up returning the cat game, because that was another example of a game that seemed like a good game, but like the gameplay was just so not my thing that I was never ever going to play any more of it. Okay. For a moment, I thought that I summoned that dragon as a Death Knight. I thought that was me. It's like, man, I hit my summon ghoul and a green draconage showed up? That's crazy. Death Knights have changed a lot since the last time I was paying attention. Hello, Miss Kira. Poor stray cat. Turns out that just because you like cats and you like video games doesn't mean that the cat video game's automatically going to be your thing. Dragon Age. I did play Dragon Age Origins. I didn't finish it, but I did enjoy back in like 2011. I did like some Dragon Age Origins. But then I got Dragon Age 2 because of how much I like Dragon Age Origins, and I couldn't do it. I burned out on that one real quick. I just couldn't play it. Far too used to healing games like WoW. Disconnect between modern day MMO healing BG3 is too harsh for me. Hazel, you are out for brunch with your mom. Things that have never happened in my life. You see a gentleman with an impressive physique. How do you describe him? Jacked, yoked, buff, ripped, or built? It probably depends on whether or not he's wearing all of his clothes or actively threatening anybody at the moment. Called Tyrion-esque. Where does the brunch fit into this? Alright, I've got 81 seconds before this one's ready. He's got a Barna body! I feel like some of them imply higher or lower percentages of like hydration and body fat than others. Like some of them are like, I feel like if you're ripped, you're like bodybuilding, but also dehydrated and you've been cutting and you've got like the Instagram lighting ready so that you can show like how chiseled you are. Whereas if you're just like the Barnabody and you can like, you know, pull the plane by the big chain, but you also like drink enough water, then you're, well, you're just very strong. We are ready to open this in another 28 seconds. You ask where the brunch comes in. I ask where your mom comes in. Yeah, I don't know if any of us are brunching. I don't know why brunch is so funny to me. It's not like we've never gone out for a meal together. It's just that, like, I don't know, we both live in this city. Like, somebody will just make some food. Or, like, we'll order a pizza or something. We're just not that fancy. Attempt number 62. It's a funny concept. Brunch is no joke. I'm sure I have a lot to learn about brunch. I'm not taking it seriously, and the brunch crowd's gonna come for me. Here. Oh, I thought I was on a hunter. Let's just try our luck. Let's see if we can just get this cast off before he kicks me without the fear. Yeah, we're good. I'm just selectively cheap. I am not universally cheap because there are plenty of things that I will spend money on without worrying about it too much. But brunch apparently isn't one of them. Find the timing of the meal unusual. Worked better when I was younger. Would wake up at like 11. I mean, yeah. I feel like at that point I would rather just wait until lunch. I feel like I just don't want a lot of breakfast food. Breakfast food is something that you eat, for me, because it's morning time. And you should eat something to get on with your day. But I'm never hungry until like almost lunchtime. It's more just like I'm eating because I know that I should. So I feel like the appeal of the food isn't there. Any Elder Scrolls game or The Witcher? The most Elder Scrolls time I put in was when I first moved out to go to university, briefly, as a 17-year-old. I had no internet for a while because I like moved into this basement suite, but it took like 2 weeks to get internet hooked up, so I couldn't play WoW. But I had my computer and I had some game or some discs, and I had Elder Scrolls Oblivion. So in that 2 weeks of my life where I was pretty addicted to WoW, but I didn't have WoW available, that's when I played Elder Scrolls the most. I got fairly into Oblivion. I don't think I finished it, but I put like quite a few hours into it. However, I later tried to recreate that magic by playing Oblivion again or playing Skyrim. I've played the intro to Skyrim like 15 times, I swear. But I never make it very far in before. I basically make it to the first village. I get to this first quest about like a guy that has a crush on a girl that doesn't like him back, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm bored. Deal with your own problems. I'm leaving. And then that's about the end of that. So we've got 2 minutes on this. I think I am gonna set up one more character in the rotation. I'm gonna give Aerith. I'm gonna check on her gear anyway. Brunch runs from 10 to 2. Makes a difference in the kind of food available. If you had spaghetti bolognese for breakfast, people will look at you weird. Yeah, it's not that I don't get hungry around 11. You're absolutely correct. It's just that I'm not, like, craving, I don't know, like, what do people eat at brunch? Waffles? I'm not mad at a good Eggs Benedict if it contains smoked salmon. Smoked salmon Eggs Benedict is one of the true joys in life. 11 o'clock is a good time for that. We're gonna see how much gear this character has. I have to do 30 quests in Vol'dun to unlock a chest I want to wear while leveling my new paladin. Transmog is in game. Yeah. 424. Yeah, this should be fine. So let's take her back. Let's send her... I think Inksy's holding on to the extra soul inhaler. This character has Harlan's dice from Season 2, a 424 dice, and then a bomb dispenser from LFR. This is the hunter that I started gearing in Season 2 for a hot minute. Yeah, she is ready to jump into LFR, that's true. I just, like, already have a BM hunter with probably different keybinds. Annoying. She's got more Harlan's dice, but just the old-fashioned ones in her bags. So I need to mail her the extra soul inhaler. I think I may actually be out of luck. I think I might need to go to a mailbox because I used my mailbox toy in Inksy already, and I think she's holding the extra soul inhaler. Sick pets. Misha, Texas, TX, thank you very much for the 13-month resub. Wow. How you doing, kitty cat? Because, yeah, I don't know if she does have the extra one in it, actually, now that we mention it. So she does not hold... Oh, I sent it to a Valyria. That's right. I sent it to my druid. So I have to decide if I would be better off doing it on that druid or on the hunter. The hunter has proper CC. I think the hunter might be the better move because my night elf druid... We'll go take a look at her gear. She PvP'd last season, so she does have some gear, but she didn't upgrade the gear because it was already as good as it was going to be for PvP. Also, isn't that armor pretty? Yeah. Coffee before, with, and after breakfast. Yeah, she's only 415 item level, despite, like, the stuff scaled to 450 for PvP last season, but that doesn't help me in PvE. Alright. I need a mailbox. I need my Ohuna perch. I mostly use the birdie because I figure Katie Stamp Whistle deserves a vacation. So I'm gonna pick up the cages and the soul inhaler that I sent myself, and I'm gonna pass those back to my Draenei hunter. At least 5 of them to get her started. Here, take like... no, I'll leave the gold. I'll leave the gold alone. Night Elf Emerald Dream stuff? Doubt it. Night Elf Heritage. Just straight Night Elf Heritage, I think. Bird doesn't deserve a break. I think the bird's happy to have purpose. For a moment, I was looking at my camera and I thought, when did I get hardwood flooring? Because I was looking at like this section of it, and I'm like, no, hang on a second, that's my kitty cat's coat. It's your fur coat. That's how you keep warm in the winter. Well, warmish. Alright. I think we're set to actually start a rotation fresh, and maybe we set up the hunter at the end of this next lap of them. Nice wig. Why, thank you. Night Elf Heritage from ED's, the white variation. Hardwood flooring, soft cat furring. Carpet that looks like wood grain. I mean, I'm sure somebody has something like that that's just like a rug. They make rugs that look like trains. They're just for, you know, children. Any luck? Nope, that was attempt 63. But we're cooking today. We're cranking. We are stacking up the attempts. I remember when I was a little kid and I saw someone's house had those rugs in their bedroom that looked like roads, so that you could take like your toy cars and you could have your toy cars go down like the rug roads. And I thought that was like really ingenious and sick, because I was like, you always have like this huge multiple foot sized play area for all of your toy cars and trucks. That's incredible. I'm assuming the Gale Spirit is not another midnight situation. What are the plans once it drops? Bold of you to assume I have plans. I chronically do not have plans. This is my plan. If it drops, we're going to have to sit down and come up with a new plan. I've seen those. They're cool. Oh, thanks, Floating CP. 6 months ago, told us how to get a lot of pet charms. Guess what I'm gonna buy today after doing some dailies in every character? Ooh, are you getting a flawless amethyst bobbleworm? Subnautica's the plan. I think SOD might be the plan. Although I don't know, man. I don't know. Alright, attempt number 64. I'm a chronic planner and a chronic procrastinator. They do not go well together. Yeah, I feel that. If only being able to make the plans was like the whole difficulty, because I feel like if you asked me what would fix or help somebody like with my problems to have better overall well-being, I could draw you up like a 15-point plan, and it would be a good plan that would work if you could stick to it. I just don't have the ability to stick to it, or at least I haven't demonstrated such a capacity yet. I want this character to go there, and I want to sleepwalk this guy, and then I want to soul inhale him. And then we beacon. And then I want a regular flying mount, actually. Just a normal one. If I log out in a flying mount, I'll log back in on one too, right? Like I won't fall from the sky. I guess this is a safe place to stay. Have I ever had an animal print rug? I don't think so. No. I've had like when I was a baby, I had a sheepskin. That was like a thing that I think every baby in my family, like our Nana got them for us. It's a Zap Throttle Soul Inhaler from Dragonflight. It's like a new version of it. There'll be an XP buff till 25 to catch up in the new phase. Any expansion that you think you'd play the classic version of? No, not really. I liked classic. I liked hardcore a lot. When Self-Found happens, I'm going to be very excited about that. No. Actual animal rug, animal print. Yeah, I guess not. It wasn't really a rug. It was more of like a blanket that you would have with you, like in your baby nest. You know, in your den that you inhabit as an infant. Words are escaping me right now. Okay, so we're gonna trap. We're gonna inhale. Oh, I'm out of soul cages. No. All right. I need to buy some more on this character. She's got gold though, at least. Hang on. Let's get all the way back here, and then let's like feign death. And get onto a Brutosaur. Oh, it's still trapped. Soul cage. Yeah, empty soul cages. Give me like another 20 of those, at least. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on the supply of my characters. I didn't realize they were gonna be running out. Okay. Oh, we actually have 19 seconds left on this. I can still do it! If I find a battle pet that's worth 100k, but it's not one I have, do I sell it or learn it? I think only you can answer that for yourself. I always learn it. I always tell myself, I learned the first one, and then if I somehow get another one, then that one's the one I sell. But I'm a pet collector, so I have to have one of each. It's part of my identity. A maw expansion, but you can't walk, you have to slow walk. Yeah, you need soul cages that are worth like 100 gold each. You buy them on the auction house. They're crafted by jewel crafters, empty soul cages. Okie dokie. Do you think the War Within feels empty? Not an expansion, but a patch? I think I need to see the zones first. I need to see the zones to have a look at how it all feels when you're actually like out there doing it. I think it's just because I haven't... Yeah. Maybe I don't get the concept enough. I know the feeling you're talking about. I'm not super worried, but I do get what you're getting at. Gotta start crafting the soul cages and know at least one person keeping the market warm. Thoughts on classic Shadowlands? Oy. I mean, it would be fun to see them do... I mean, not that I would play it. I'm just saying words for the sake of saying words. I'm pretty much a modern player. There's not a whole lot of classic of various modern expansions that I would play. But it would be interesting to see them do them again, but with everything they know now. Like, what if they did Shadowlands again, but with Covenants completely unlocked from the get-go? Or with... not even unlocked. Like, what if they just gave you... what if they could find a way to do it in that the Covenants worked more like Dragonflight Renowns, where they were basically cosmetic and you could just kind of have the spec that you needed to without needing to worry about it? Or like BFA, if they were able to untie the Azurite power grind from your level. Like if they just gave everybody like automatic Azurite power levels and nobody had to actually grind the stuff. Like, would that make it better? Would it make it worse? It would be interesting to see them like have another go around at stuff they already did. But it would be interesting in an academic way. I still wouldn't play it. Okay. So this character's on her last soul cage, so she needs to buy more of them too. After this, she's got one more for this one. Happy Sunday. Thematically fine not doing Shadowlands again regardless of the systems. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there. Get another 20 of them. We never add up the math. We can go ahead and once I get the pet, I can sell off all of the extra soul cages that I didn't end up using. But we never add up how much gold we spend trying to farm it, because if it ever hits 150k, then I probably should have just bought the pet. People seem anxious about War Within content. Is it because of the Saga thing? Because of the way they announced it? I think it's partly because it is the run-up to it does feel different. But also, it's just another expansion. People are always anxious about whether or not about the state of WoW and where it's going. It's always a big conversation topic, and it's always been a thing. I disagree that Dragonflight was thin on content at release. I found it to be not the case. I found that between the existing renowns and the professions and the raid in the dungeons and the first season, I thought that was plenty. I was fishing with my Tuskar nets, and I was digging up dirt piles and farming shards of knowledge, and like I was busy. I was capital B busy when Dragonflight came out. Nope, that was at 67. Find ourselves a nice Colossus here. Because I bought her, or I sent her, yeah, she's got 13 soul cages, so she's good for a while. Any Colossus? Uh-huh. I don't know why I PI'd that early. I suppose it's fine. Heard warbands got me. Warbands are enough for the War Within to be good for me? Yeah, I think so. All I ever asked from a WoW expansion was for some new raids to do, some new zones to look through, some new stuff to collect, some new dungeons to work on, and then it's basically like I like WoW. I like playing WoW. I like doing the activities that I already do. So I just like a fresh iteration of them to do, and then I just need them to not break anything. So a fairly straightforward expansion is perfect for me. And then having all of these changes to make it more alt-friendly is just like a huge, huge bonus. So I'm happy, but not everybody's gonna be. If I've learned anything, it's that you're never gonna make everybody happy. And sometimes you're never even going to make very many people happy, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't make things. It just means that you're not going to please everybody. As long as it doesn't feel overly cold. You don't like cold. I'm a little worried it's going to be dark underground. That's my biggest concern with the War Within, is that we're tunneling. And I know they're not going to like feel like they're underground or whatever they like promised, but I don't know. I don't like it when zones are like bright and fresh and airy. I don't love it when they're dark and dim and damp feeling or cold. All right. Any luck? Nope. Let's go find another one. We play WoW like we play Animal Crossing. Loam felt stuffy. Yeah, and it was fine, I suppose, for like a patch content, but I certainly haven't spent like a ton of time there in the Zerlite Caverns. Oh, I forgot about Delves. I completely forgot about Delves. I'm so curious as to what higher level Delves feel like. Because they said they're kind of like a combination of like some combat challenges, but also puzzles. But they also said they're going to continue to scale up to near maximum endgame level. Not quite maximum endgame level, but like on par with like heroic raids. And I am very interested to see, like, do the puzzles get hard? Or is it just the, like, how on earth do you scale that? We'll find out. We'll see. But it's brave of them to add something like that and to say from the get-go that this is going to be a new content pillar and an evergreen feature that they're going to keep doing into the future. Like, usually they'll add a thing and they'll be like, let's see how this goes. And then if it goes well, they're like, cool, we like world quests. We're going to keep doing them. But for them to commit to something before they've even put it out is pretty ambitious, bold, brave. Hope they bring back the Nashatar orb puzzle. Overdue for another pet dungeon? I thought they said they weren't going to do any more pet dungeons, that they'd kind of done everything they wanted to do with that format, and that if they were going to make any more challenge pet content, they would look into something else. But pet dungeons, like, finished with, like, the story of the pet dungeons finished with whatever the last one was that we had. Let me check on the bot. It should work, but I think the bot may have fallen asleep. Says that it's on. Okay. All right. Yeah, it was working. I wonder why the wig command didn't go through. Hello, everyone. Hey, DBK Joe. How you doing? No. Strange. I don't know why it didn't work, Trisk. Okay. I have brand shiny new 5 soul cages, which I'm starting to wonder if that's going to be enough. But, I mean, it's like another 15 attempts or so. And then a shiny new soul inhaler. I feel like my spec is terrible. Like, I want to fix the spec. This is a speed spec. I need... Here, let me just grab the Wowhead one, I think. Great today? Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Happy Sunday. I want Wowhead BM... I basically just want whatever spec my other BM hunter has. Yeah, give me like the single target... Give me the keys spec. That's what I was using. Copy that. Oh, I do this all the time. I put the title of it in the import text field. I just want to have Call of the Wild, or whatever it is. Make a bunch of animals. Oh yeah, Call of the Wild. I just need that button. It is terrible you haven't spent all your points. 3 more mythics to do in my monk. Plan to do more weekly mythic quests. No, it's kind of as lame that I did the weekly mythic quest on my main, who clearly didn't need it. And then I did 1 dungeon on Barnacles, who might need it. I think I'm just done with gearing characters this season. At least for now. I had fun with it for a while, but the drive has ended, and there's no sense in trying to force it. So I don't think it matters how good the gear is if I feel like I'm done. Not about gear, about fishing for mogs. Yeah. If you're not, yeah. I do like mog. I'll farm mog one day, but I gotta chase where the fire of my soul leads me. If that makes any sense. Till you fall in love with your Mistweaver. True. No more random alts? Not for the moment, anyway. I find WoW is the most fun when I follow whatever feels compelling to me. Which is, bizarrely enough, I feel like usually not up to me. It's up to fate. It's, you know, you gotta go consult with like a wise tree in the forest or some 2 a.m. Taco Bell. If that is available to you. So we're looking for a regular fly mount first. And then we're looking for a nice Colossus. And then we're going to have to confirm that we do want to bind the Soul Inhaler to us as well. That one's at half health. I don't trust it. I'm streaming right now using Twitch Studio, but I was looking into returning to OBS. I had like a critical error last year or the year before that made me switch off of Studio to OBS that was like an incompatibility with my Windows version. But I feel like it's been fixed by now. I didn't, so I was going to switch back. Both are fine. Both are free and both work just fine. Has there ever been a period where you were bored of WoW? Oh, probably. Or like I'll get bored of one thing in WoW and I'll do something else in WoW. I think the most I got bored with the entire game was there was a period in MOP where I like really burned out doing too much Tiller's Farm, and then I played a bunch of Dark Souls. And that was in like 2012. I am in the wrong spot. I'm really struggling to find a Colossus here. Yeah, Windows 11 was supposed to be compatible with it, but I was having an error that I just couldn't deal with, and I wasn't willing to roll my Windows back. So, yeah, so we bind that. And then I'm going to need a new button. Oh, did I do it? I did do it. Okay, we're good. So we have our soul, and that'll be ready in 15 minutes. I think we're ready to start our rotation back over again. My priest should be about good. No problem taking breaks, not touching it for a day or two to do other things. Be awesome if he suddenly streamed Elden Ring. Oh. Do a fresh Windows install, if I can manage to not procrastinate. That kind of thing is still annoying, but it's so much easier than it used to be once upon a time when you had to like... I mean, I guess I don't know how you live your life, but I don't have nearly as many things that exist only locally now. Basically, getting all of my software back and getting my files back, for the most part, is pretty much just a matter of logging back into everything. Like, I keep so many things in the cloud, and I have so many pieces of software that are just log back in and then download your stuff again that I don't really have to worry about like digging up software keys, or like I'll back up if I have like an active project that's halfway done, I'll back that stuff up. But for the most part, I just kind of, if I need to do a fresh install, it takes like most of the times just downloading the software again. When will the solo shuffle grind begin? Oh man. Oh, if I was smart, I would begin it sooner rather than later, and then pace myself nicely so that I don't have to do it all at the end like I did last season, because I do want that mount. Have you guys seen the Vicious mount this season? It's amazing. Okay, attempt 69. Ta-da! Nope. Memes are not powerful enough to make that thing drop yet. It's one of the funny numbers. Solo shuffle or threes? Yeah, hard to say. Possibly both. Possibly both. I don't know if I swore off Solo Shuffle this season. I know at the end of last season, I ground out the end of my grind in 3s because it was much faster than Shuffle. But that's because I was able to do it with Flabby, and then we were able to puck 3rds. Accidentally wiped my games drive, reinstalling all my add-ons, reconfiguring them. Oh no! Oh, that really sucks. That is one of the things that I like to back up is my add-on data folder. Hesitate to join Solo Shuffle. Don't know if I'll get flamed if I just do what I normally do. The safe bet is just, especially with online PvP that is randomly filled and anonymous, is to just assume that you're going to get flamed and assume that it has nothing to do with you. You can even tab all the way out of chat so you never even see it if anybody does. If it's gonna happen. It happens to everybody. The best players in the world still get flamed, even if they're doing everything perfectly. It's not. It would be great if nobody ever got flamed and we were all just like understanding and patient with each other. But the world we live in is that if you want to play and you want to be comfortable, then at some point you have to come up with some strategy, and there's different options, but some way to let it not stop you when somebody else decides to be rude. Because they're gonna. they're gonna. You could be perfect and they would still get mad. It's not about you. Spend most of my time just CCing. Okay. That was attempt number, I don't know anymore, but we're gonna get another one and keep going. But yeah, for Solo Shuffle especially, I have a blank chat tab that is, like I make a new chat window, and then in the filters, I will, so right click the window, you look into your filter settings, and then I would just uncheck literally everything from it so that this chat channel has nothing. And then just tab over to that whenever you want your chat window to be empty, and you just stay there until the match is over. It does mean that if people are like picking targets that you won't see them do that, but unless you're at, I mean, I don't know what people do at the very highest levels of Solo Shuffle, but in all the levels of Solo Shuffle I've ever been at, people will pick targets and then proceed to not go on those targets. Like, they will switch targets or just completely ignore each other. Like, it almost never goes anywhere. So, like, you're much better off choosing your targets by looking at what people do and not what they say, which you don't need chat for. Hi. This one. Hey, Raymount. Reminds me of Karate. Like, it's the Ancoan Wave Ray. Or it was the Ancoan Wave Ray anyway. I think, yeah. I think that one's pretty. It was time to type in VPVA anyway. Well, it's usually in the starting room, but yeah. From other perspectives, some people take any advice as flame. There's an argument to be made that in something like Solo Shuffle, where you're going to be equally on everybody's team, you're not necessarily obligated to onboard advice from people that you don't know. Like, if you sign up for school and you take a class, or maybe you sign up for coaching, and you have a coach who's working with you to try to improve your gameplay because that's what you decided you wanted to do and you set up for that, and they give you advice and you're like, no, then yeah, you're being kind of silly. But if you're like just living your life and somebody else is trying to like fix you, you're not obligated to listen to them. You can, but it's not the understanding that that just because you feel like you're right, other people are like, they have to take that on, is unrealistic and never gonna get you anywhere good. I just want Conquest for the blue DK set. Mount Journal Enhanced is that add-on that's displaying extra info in the Mount collection. I like it a lot. Okay, attempt number 71. Nope, no good. But I'm always right, yeah. Yeah, it's video games. It's not. It's not life and death. And there's different like situations as well. It's a bit different if you're playing with the same group of people really consistently, and if your performance is the thing that is preventing other people from is preventing the entire group from progressing, and people are like, you know, in private and with like respect trying to if leadership is trying to work with you on that, then that's one thing. But you know, it's solo shuffle. Like, if you suck, then you suck for everybody else equally, because they're going to mix up the teams, right? Like, you can't... If people are mad at you because you suck, then they shouldn't really be that mad, because you would also suck on the other team whenever you get switched to their side. So, like, it's, there's really... it's really no cause. Alright, we are going to trap, and then we are going to inhale. Get a new one. If I had to choose one, Mount Journal Enhanced Rarity, all the things. Oh, which would I drop? Mount Journal I would drop before Rarity and all the things. Because it's mostly just vanity data. It doesn't actually offer me extra functionality, aside from maybe being able to filter my mounts to like different colors when I'm trying to match a transmog. I guess Rarity is also vanity data, but it's vanity data that people ask me for more often. Hazel, have you ever read the lit RPG genre? No. What is that? Are these, like, really cool role-playing games? They're, like, lit? Are they role-playing games about literature? Is this just a new word for books? I'm worried. Yeah, me too. Kitty, this is not the ideal chin rub angle. There you go, that's not too bad. Kitty likes chin rubs. Okay, any luck? No. Attempt number 72! At least I am glad that I set up all these soul inhalers. So I want to make sure I have... this one, this one, this one. 20 attempts today? We started today around, yeah, 40 or 50, I think. And we've been live for 1 hour and 12. But I also haven't been being the most efficient. Yeah, number go up. Exactly, number go up. Stories that involve RPG-like elements. Oh, okay. For a moment I thought you meant, like, stories that are RPGs. And my dumb brain was like, so, like, RPGs. Like, are we talking about a game? But like a story, like whatever the source material for Ready Player One, basically. Interesting. Your pet is enormous. Do you like it? Look at the login screen. Kira, are you small? Are you tiny? Are you an itty bitty kitty cat? You are itsy bitsy compared to Mr. Moose. Mr. Moose is an Ormoose. Hey, buff. Alright. Attempt number 73. Yeah, I never read. I didn't even know if it was based on a book. I kind of figured, but I didn't know for sure. I've never read that story. But yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm currently reading my way through all of the Discworld novels, of which there seem to be quite a few. I believe I've just started my 7th one. They're not very long. I just finished The Weird Sisters, and I've just begun, I think it's called Pyramids. All of them? I mean, I'm enjoying them. I haven't read one yet that I didn't like, so I figure as long as I'm having a nice time, I may as well keep going. Besides, maybe by the time I reach the end of all of the Discworld novels, I'll be ready for a reread of, like, I don't know, something. Death ones are so good. Last few you wrote were really good. Love Granny Weatherwax. I love how she never admits that she's wrong. I love that Granny Weatherwax consistently will come up against something she doesn't know, and she'll be like, oh yeah, that. Definitely. Never you mind. It's all headology. Yeah, it's Terry Pratchett. I suppose I should try some Neil Gaiman books after this, because I know that they co-wrote that one that Prime show was made off of, and I like the show well enough, so maybe I could read the book for that. I started trying to watch the Netflix show The Sandman, and I watched the first episode, and it was fine, but like I don't know. I suck these days. I'm like no fun. I don't want to watch anything. Never read him, but I should. I want to make my way through all of the really widely accepted classics of fantasy literature, or just the ones that people have all kind of collectively agreed are like really good. Sandman gets better after the first episode. I'm having a hard time taking the main character seriously because of his haircut, I think. I don't know why that bothers me, but maybe if he could put his mask back on, then I will stop assuming that he's a member of Fall Out Boy. Encaged Aries Soul. We're gonna stick this back over here. I have not read anything by Martha Wells. Or ACOTAR or Fourth Wing. I haven't read it. I have not read any of that. Can't bat 1,000, I guess. Haven't either recommended to me. Curious, may jump in. It's a big cat. Kitty, are you a big cat? I read Mistborn. Like, I read the Mistborn trilogy. And I also read the later Wheel of Time novels that were by Sanderson. So I have read some Sanderson. I've come to the understanding that Sanderson is fine, but Sanderson's just not my thing. I don't feel a need to seek out more Sanderson. Oh, Crown of Thorns and Roses. Oh, yeah, I haven't read that. Long-term phase, the only things I want to watch are edutainment, YouTube, Curiosity Stream. I feel that. That's fair. Court of Thorns and Roses. That was 75 attempts. Get ourselves another one. I want to see if I can crank up my speed at all. Start doing this any faster. First book of a trilogy that wasn't completed, Court of this and that. That was Priory of the Orange Tree. And there is another one of those out now, so what I should probably do after I finish all of Discworld, which is probably like a multiple years long project. But if I finish all of the Discworld novels, then I could reread Priory, and then I could read the second one. That would probably keep me busy for a while. I like it when the fantasy books are like really long as they're good, because I don't want to have to pick a new one right away. Yeah, I did like Priory. Oh, it was a bit of a slow burn getting into it for me, but once I was into it, I had a nice time. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can go back to the top now, I think. About to start rereading Ice and Fire. Brave friend. Oh, I will reread it if the next one ever comes out. I would say the last one, but let's not kid ourselves. That's never going to get finished. Surprised you read books? Honestly, I'm surprised I read books too, because otherwise I am a chronic person that is like overexposed to the internet with an attention span the size of like a bumblebee. Bumblebees probably have a better attention span than me, but for whatever reason, books, I can read all day long. It's the only way I can fall asleep, if we're being honest. As long as it's the right book, anyway. What's wrong with Sanderson's subreddit? People's fingerprints are different. Some things work, other things don't. Yeah, that's true. Katie, I'm surprised you're still here. I thought you would have gone off and gone back to bed by now. You happy? Ton of gray items in my bags. That was a money-making scheme that didn't work out. Are you having trouble selling them? I buy gray items in the auctionist every once in a while. Most of the time I just assume that eventually in my life I'll get it to drop for me anyways, because I'm always leveling alts in weird places. 40 seconds and then this one will be ready. That's a good sign. That means that we've got like a nice tight 15-minute rotation going. Just under 15 minutes. 7 chances every 15 minutes is pretty good. I'm feeling good. We've got another hour and a half today that we can work on this for. This isn't over yet. This will be attempt number, what is it going to be, like 75 maybe? We'll see in a minute. How are you? Do you want to let your hair grow long again? Hello. I am doing well. No. No, not at all. I am putting on wigs for stream and for videos as a bit of an experiment, and also just for fun. But outside of streams and videos, I am very happy to have my very short hair, and I have no desire to let it get any longer than it is. Yeah, long hair is great fun when you can take it off. That's kind of my feeling on it. It is much easier to have it is much easier to maintain when I don't have to wear it in weather and under hats and to bed and around a puppy, etc., etc., etc. Okay, this is attempt number 77. But if it makes you feel any better to imagine that I'm wearing a wig all the time or that I have long hair otherwise, then feel free to imagine whatever you like. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of the buzz cut. Fun, delightful read was A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. Well, that sounds like a cute name. Yeah, I think the thing that surprised me most about the wig experiment, and also just like cutting my hair short this past year, was how many people care. Because it's one of those things that if you're like, man, I'm worried about what people will say or whatever, people will tell you nobody cares, no one's looking, no one's gonna say anything, and they're wrong. Lots of people leave lots of comments. I think it's a bit different because it's like a visual medium and I'm online and people can leave comments anonymously, but It's very strange to me how some people, not you guys, but there are some people that seem invested in whether or not my hair is long, as though it's ever going to apply to them. It's not, it's like secondhand vanity, and I just don't get it. But I'm not above, I suppose I'm not above playing into it if I think it'll make my stream more successful, basically, is where I'm at. So it's a bit of an experiment. Yeah, they're not always good comments, but that's just kind of the internet. It's not great, but it is what it is. They are overwhelmingly nice comments, but sometimes even that you can kind of read subtext into. But it's not worth your life to try. What are we doing? We're looking for another Colossus here. Did you hear of a show called Felicity? I did not. What's it about? We're gonna go ahead and trap this one. No, trap the wrong one. Well, let's just see if we can get away with this anyways. Oh, I didn't open it yet. I didn't open it yet. Oh, it's not time to open it yet. I've got 10 seconds before I can open it. I've done everything all wrong. It's a good thing this is my geared hunter. Here. My pets can come back over this way. I got all carried away and I found a Colossus before I'd even opened my soul. I do not have the thing that makes my pets feign death with me. Although we can open that one now. Alright, no luck. And now we can channel. Hopefully I'm out of that range. Yeah. And now we can kill it. There we go. We're just being really efficient. Yeah, I think my other hunter, my Draenei hunter would not have been able to survive that. Made the unfortunate for me hair goal this year, growing my hair out. Takes so long to manage. Thick, coarse, dense, curly. Curious how long I can get it. Trying to get length out of curly hair is always really annoying because even though it is objectively, truthfully, scientifically getting longer over time, it's hard to see how much longer it's getting because of how much shrinkage you have when it's like worn curly. The sidekick is a magical sourdough starter. I would like it, actually. Has your partner expressed any opinion? My partner seems to be very happy with how whatever I'd like to do with my hair. They're very sweet. They're very supportive of basically anything. He likes me anyway. This character? This character. I read that story about the Carrie Russell haircut and Felicity. I didn't watch the show, but before I cut my hair, I consumed basically all of the online media that I could about women with really short hair and the various backlash that they may have faced for it, because that's the kind of thing that I do obsessively. So I read about Demi Moore in G.I. Jane and Sinead O'Connor and the Carrie Russell thing. People getting upset about Katy Perry and her pixie cut. It's just bananas, man. After that, hair length appeared in contracts yet. Keeps getting so tangled, hard to get untangled. It sucks. Yeah, you gotta live your life anyway. And you also gotta make choices that feel right for you and your business if you've got a business. So as much as it sucks to feel like you need to change something that you don't want to fit into a standard that's not yours, if making money is important to you and that's what you need to do to earn a living or to save up for your goals that are really important to you, sometimes you gotta make some value calls. Always be someone unhappy at the end. Gotta take care of yourself. And your kitty cat. Remember discussing it in a class on media law. Alright, am I ready to open this? No, I'm not. I've got another... Oh, it's 14 minutes. It's because I just caged that one. I need another character. That's why. But I think wigs might have been a good move for me anyways, even if I had never cut my hair. Just because I love changing the color of my hair. I love changing the style of my hair. And having different wigs means that I'm going to be able to do different lengths and styles and colors. Although honestly, I kind of like this. This situation I feel like is a good default for me. But it's a lot easier for me to pop on a different wig than it is to like completely cut and color and style and dye my hair, etc. Darkmoon Fair is back. Wow. Wigs are the gateway drug to role-playing. I also thought it might be kind of fun to have another degree of separation between like my screen persona and who I am off screen and just like in life. To maybe a few more boundaries might be good for my overall mental health. You're supposed to untangle your sense of identity and self-worth from what you do for a living so that you don't become really depressed if you don't feel like you're doing very well. But that's extra hard to do when what you do for a living is sell the idea of yourself as a person. It's an interesting, slightly thorny thing. Okay, what are we doing? We are opening this to see if we got the pet. Attempt number 79. Nope. Let's get another one. You won't beat me. Hard to believe it was over 2 decades ago. Kitty needs a wig. She's exposed to internet cruelty. Kitty, I don't think, has ever had an unkind comment in her life. Not that she would read them, but people online will be varying levels of sensitive or insensitive about people. Maybe it's because they know that if they're rude to my cat, they're getting permanent. Say what you want about me, and depending on how harsh it is, you may or may not get banned. Just for common decency. But you say a word astray about this cat and you're gone. It's too far, man. If it turns out to be more successful, you're going to be so annoyed with the world at large. If it helps at all, it would be impossible to completely boil down the success of any content strategy to one factor, because not only would the hair be different, but also maybe I would be posting more. Maybe I would have better energy. Maybe the WoW content cycle changes. Like, views of WoW streams are often not as much tied to the specific streamer as they are tied to how popular the game is and like where the game is in terms of an expansion release cycle. So we can't pin it all down on one thing. But we can do squinty-eyed math. And, yeah. A/B testing, precisely. Excitement for new patch, waning interest as a patch matures. I'm just glad there'll always be people, or at least there so far have always been people, I shouldn't take it for granted, that will hang out with me here, even in like the dead depths of a patch drought, to watch me farm stuff, because I love doing that. I love patch downtime and just farming stuff like this. Not that this is really downtime, but attempt 80. Perhaps we'll get it on attempt 81. At least one of these had to put up a fight. It was always going to be true. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about the kitty. I'm glad they're doing better now. Oh. People here for your content, not just the popular thing in the game. Some people. I can't afford to be picky, though. Not in this real estate market. Oh, man. I just here, hang on a second. Let me get this and then I'll try and finish my thought. Oh, I love Convoke. Gets the job done. Am I still in combat? Ah, there we go. What if they were all like this one? Nah, you guys are really sweet. So before I got Moose, when I had decided that I was going to take the steps that I needed to adopt a dog, and I was going to like clear it with property management and make a plan and do the research and etc. And after I decided I was going to get a dog, I entered a phase in my life where I would go to what I called dog jail, which is where I would camp out on my laptop and I would browse listings and categorize them and keep track of them and keep tabs on them across some like 12 to 14 different animal rescues that were local to the city, and then also international ones as well, because I didn't know how hard it was going to be to get a dog. 2 years ago, during the height of the pandemic, apparently it was incredibly difficult to adopt dogs around here because everybody wanted a dog, and we just don't actually have as many local stray dogs in this particular corner of the world because people are pretty good about getting their pets spayed and neutered. There are other sources of pet dogs to adopt if you want. There's like retired sled dogs. There are places in Canada that have more stray dogs that need homes or like accidental litters and stuff. But anyways, I didn't know how hard it was going to be. There was the possibility that I was going to need to adopt a dog from Korea or from Mexico and then have it flown in, because that's a thing that a lot of people do. Quite a few people here have Mexican dogs because there's not enough stray dogs locally, and there's lots of street dogs in Mexico that need homes. So there's rescues that will import them and like bring them across the border to bring them to families that want them. Anyways, I didn't know how hard it was going to be. So I was keeping tabs and keeping track of all kinds of different listings, trying to like, you know, source out pages that would be kind of compatible with my lifestyle with my cat, and keep tabs on whether or not they'd been adopted, and like what kind of requirements the rescues had and what kind of reviews the rescues had, and et cetera, et cetera. I would spend hours at a time fairly obsessively looking through all of this information and like keeping track of it. And when I finally got approved for Moose and adopted him and moved into the new phase of actually being a puppy parent, puppy parenting is stressful, but I kind of felt like this weight lifted of I no longer felt compelled to do like insane amounts of research. And that sort of like craze of my brain like let me go, and it let me live. And I felt much better because it was like over. I also have that same problem when it comes to considering buying a place to live, and real estate listings. And I will, instead of going to dog jail, go to house jail. And that's a thing that I've done for years now, because even before I was ready to buy, and I'm still not ready to buy, but I would like to look through listings to see where are places, how much do they cost, what do they look like, what is the area like, what is the, you know, what is the Google Street View of the area like, what's the, you know, like I would find out all kinds of different information. Could I see myself living there if I lived here? Where do I walk my dog? What's the nearest park? Are there any beaches around? Where's the grocery store? That kind of thing. Repeat like infinity for every single real estate listing within a set budget. Or depending on if I'm daydreaming about being rich, then I might look into a different budget that I definitely don't have. So I'll get sucked into house jail for... Oh, interesting. You can actually get a new one before you've opened the old one, as long as your other one is hatched. Anyway. And this still happens to me because I haven't bought something yet. And part of me is just like so looking forward to one day, even if I end up in a place that has its own stress and it's got like a terrible strata or like awful neighbors or whatever, rats, I don't know. Even if I end up in a place that's like not good, at least I will have bought something and I can stop looking. Will you get any more fish in the future? I don't know. I'm happy right now with my one aquarium. As the fish eventually are aging and succumbing to anything, if that aquarium eventually becomes empty, I think I might stock it with a different fish. I might add a bed of fish to that instead of more barbs. If all of my cherry barbs complete their lifespans. But I don't know if I'm going to set up more tanks. It's going to kind of depend on a bunch of stuff. If you bought something you weren't happy with, do you think you would continue looking? Hard to say. I don't know if I think my researching is born of a logical impulse to be well informed on the market, but it's also born of something that is out of my control and probably unhealthy. So I don't know whether or not that would continue. It doesn't feel like it's up to me. It took me nearly 2 years to buy a TV. Interesting that you voluntarily put your life forward to be analyzed by dog adoption people. They decided you were a great choice really quickly. I couldn't believe that, by the way. Like, I think it was just partly because the dog adoption landscape has changed since 2020. And also I work from home and I have a lot of time to put into raising a puppy, so that made me a better candidate for a puppy, I suppose. But like, I did all that research for dogs, and then when I finally started applying for dogs, I literally got the first puppy I applied for. And I applied for it academically. I thought there's no way that they're going to pick me or call me. I'm just applying for this as a proof of concept that I can fill out an application form. Don't get me wrong, I wanted Moose. I wanted the dog, but I didn't think that in a million years they were going to call me back. To the point that, like, the day after I applied, my phone rang. Oh, that's somebody else. The day after I applied, my phone rang, and I was like, could it be? There's no way. And it was a telemarketer. And then after that, I was like really sad, and I was like, oh man, you were so stupid for getting your hopes up. They're not gonna call you. You know, it's an adorable puppy at like the local shelter, and there's no way that you are getting a call back for that dog. I thought I was gonna have to look for a long time before I finally got approved for something. But then the next day, they actually did call me while I was streaming. And now I have a moose. I did get the call on stream. It was unreal. I think the best bet is to buy a house in a cheap and affordable location. Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? I once again forgot to open my old soul first. But we didn't get any luck with it, so it doesn't really matter. That was attempt 82. And we're all set up for attempt 83. Telemarketers? I get spam calls from China. I don't know what they want. I don't speak Mandarin. I just delete them all. I was so happy. It was meant to be with this. I kind of feel like it was. It's a bit spooky how perfect he is. Just for me and also just in general. He's my moo. My moo-moo. My Mr. Moosey 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 Moo. And the good news is that he's a dog, so he can't be embarrassed by how over-the-top smooshy I am with him. Do I not have a soul to open? Did I forget to get another one? I have 2 soul cages. I should probably get some more soul cages. I think I've gotten a bit off kilter with my grind here. Let's buy some more soul cages. Moose and Miss Kira are getting along well enough, but they're still not... there's a pet gate so that they are only together when they're supervised. They do not hang out without direct human supervision and overview because Moosey still really wants to play with her, and she is blind and she does not want to play with him. It's a tragedy as old as time. And he accepts disappointment, but he accepts it a lot better if there's somebody willing to ask him to back off. I need another one of these things. I need another... I could have sworn that I got another soul. Maybe I opened it early by accident or something like that. I wonder how cold it is in here. My fingers are so cold that they hurt. I need to wrap them up in the heating pad. Got one of those. We'll stick that right over there. Log back on a bit. Just be warm. I want to buy a car soon. There's a point a few months ago. Did nothing but research. It's been a while since I did anything. Look, he's stressing me out. Yeah, you're totally right. The upside is that when you do finally make a decision, you're fairly informed about what the options are and like what the average price is for various different things and like what tends to be available, and like you get better at spotting an actually good deal or something that's right for you when you've put that time into figuring out what the landscape is like and also what you want and what's important to you. I did the same thing before I bought my car, but not for nearly as long. I put probably 5 to 10 times more effort into researching my dog than my car. Which I think is fair, because my dog is like a living creature. And my car is a car. My needs for my car were fairly straightforward. I needed it to go and stop and turn. And I needed it to be pretty low key so that it doesn't stand out and so that I can get it like serviced without a whole lot of drama. I didn't want something too weird, basically. And apparently that's pretty easy, especially if you're buying used. Okay. Get a poncho. I have lots and lots of sweaters. I'm just not wearing one right now. This is a heating pad, so this helps a bit. It's because I'm sedentary. I don't, like I'll get up and I'll stretch and I'll kind of jump around a little bit in the middle of the stream, and it's about time for me to do that, honestly. But even if I'm in like a perfectly warm room and I'm wearing plenty of clothing, if I'm still for long enough, my feet and my hands will get really cold, even if they're inside of layers. My body just stops heating them from the inside. Attempt number 83. Okay. Come on. I didn't get fingerless gloves for fishing because I stopped fishing because I got a puppy. I got a bit too busy to spend all day out in the water. And also, I'm kind of cool to just fish in the summer when it's not freezing. It didn't seem that important to me to continue fishing in bad weather. It was dangerous to be out when it was raining anyways because the rocks were so slippery, and because that's where I stand when I'm fishing because I'm not in a boat. I'm fishing from shore. I want another Colossus. Hello. Do you know a good way to farm rep for Dragonflight factions? If you want all of them, you can keep up with your weekly quests. Your Aiding the Accord weekly is going to give you some rep with everybody. And then world quests, honestly. Amazed at how many people continue to cycle here in the winter, even during massive snowfalls. That's pretty hardcore. Hello all, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, Katie. Yeah, let's try another character or two, and then I'll take a short break. Check on Mr. Mooney. See how he's doing. I think he's sleeping. They love the fat tire bikes here up here this time of year. I got the pet. Why didn't Rarity tell me about it? Did I not have Rarity turned on and scary this whole time? Hang on a second. My moment. I do have Rarity turned on. I don't know what happened. My moment. It happened. Look, a Gale Spirit. Ta-da! Woo! What was my last attempt? 84? That would have been 85, something like that. Woohoo! Alright, I'm selling off all of these soul cages, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. I don't know why anybody would. Soul cages, be gone. Getting my extra gold back. Oh man, let's check this out. We are free! Gale Spirit. It's a spirit of wind. That was my last Sap Throttle Soul Inhaler Spirit Pet. We are all caught up with those, and I didn't have to buy a single one of them. First try, can you believe? Yeah, it's kind of cool. Look, it's got some windy effects. It's got some lightning effects. It's got a little shield. Its head is all curly-whirly. What's not to like? Alright, I guess these characters can go home. Next week, they get to do another freehold attempt. I wonder if I would ever do... Here, I'm going to have $1 on Hearthstone. I'm going to take a break, but when I get back, I'm going to pick out what I'm going to do with the rest of my stream today, because we're not done yet. It's only 10:49. I will be right back. All right. My pup is so sleepy. He's like lying down on a rug, and he'll open his mouth to yawn, and his tongue will stretch out to yawn and then fall because he's too tired to hold it up, and then get stuck to the rug And then he has to, like, drag it back into his mouth. I don't know how that dog makes it through a day. We're naming the spirits? That's true, yeah. We have Drippy, Toasty, Grimy, and... yeah, he's got rug. He's got a bad case of rug tongue. The good news is I vacuumed the heck out of that rug last night because of the doormat incident. So it's as clean as it's ever been. Oh, man. All right. But yeah, we... oh, Bluster. Buster. Bluster. Oh, Bluster. I get it. Yeah, I like that a lot. Let's see. Gale Spirit. Rename Bluster. And my pet collection... I mean, it's not finished, but it's not bad. So, in the meantime, while I figure out what it is I want to do with my life, thinking maybe a little smidge of Tumasar Garrus LFR Gates of Hell wing for some chances at the Abyss Worm mount, and then of course we must have Bluster out with us. Need all the bluster you can muster, mister. Gates of Hell, that's the one. I'm missing a mount from this one. Because after, I want to focus on mountain pet farming, because I want to, generally speaking, save Mog farming. I mean, I'm not against getting Mog, but I want to more or less save Mog farming for the sake of Mog. For War Within, although I feel like stuff like Emerald Dream Mog, that's not going to be necessarily easier in War Within, because a lot of that stuff is account-wide anyway. Like, I could do Seed Bloom weeklies to keep buying pieces of Seed Bloom Mog. That's not a bad idea. But it's not as exciting as a mount run for a chance at the Abyss Worm. Name creates its own theme song. I want to try... I'm out of bread again. And I do need to do some shopping because I'm also out of milk. But I want to try some of these recipes in this bread machine cookbook. Have you do like a starter, like a... In Italian recipes, they call it a biga, and in French recipes, they call it a pouliche. That's like, you kind of mix up some of the dough, but without any salt. And you mix that for a while, and then you let that like sit for some amount of hours before you do the rest of it. And that method has been, in this cookbook, adapted for use in the bread machine. And I want to try one of those. So I think I'm going to pick out one and then maybe start to work on it this afternoon, especially if I can like go to the store and get milk while it's like resting. Love a Polish bread. It's my favorite way to start a bread. I used to do the Tasahara bread book, which was like my bread cookbook of childhood. That one has you start with a sponge, which is basically like a Polish. And I used to use those a lot. But also back when I used to make bread by hand, I used to add entirely too much flour to them because it would get sticky, and I would be like, oh no, it's too sticky, and I would add more flour. And I would eventually come out with fresh bread that was delicious, but very dense and very heavy because it had like way too much flour in it. I would have just like the densest, most filling bread ever. And I've noticed that when I make bread in a bread machine, I don't do that because I am not in the equation to mess it up. Never heard of this. It's really cool. Yeah, I think part of it is that it has like a mild fermentation period, so for like a tangier flavor. But the other part of it is that when you have your flour and your water, or some amount of your flour and your water mixed, it does a thing that's called autolyzing, where as the flour has more time to more fully hydrate, I think that it like relaxes in some way and changes the science. It's all a bit beyond me. I'm one of those people that doesn't really understand how everything works, but I learned like 2 of the words, and I know that it works if you follow the instructions. So I let all the smart people write the books, and then I just kind of follow them. Do you have an heirloom sourdough starter from your rural Canadian upbringing? Not anymore. It died, okay? Forgot to feed it. I'm only human. Baked chocolate chip cookies yesterday, first time. They're messy to eat, melting chocolate everywhere. Oh, but the fresh ones are so yummy. Congratulations. Yeah, definitely gonna need more bread today. Don't have brain meat, make good instruction guides. I am not running through this very quickly. I suppose I'm a Death Knight. We're not really renowned for speed. Take care. Gonna do some grinding on an Shivo didn't do. Thank you, Hazel. Have a great day. I don't know if I've heard the word brain meat. It sounds like something a Null would say. I'm clever meat. That's me. So this is my last stream of the week. So I'll have like a couple of days off to kind of figure out what I want to do next week. The question is whether or not I just commit to having a Season of Discovery phase. Any luck? We're killing this boss for chance at the Abyss Worm. It looks like it did not drop, but we can keep a character right here just in case. Getting into Drag Race? Are you watching the new season? I'm not. It's probably, I'm sure it's amazing. I watched a bunch of old seasons. I watched, I think, 7 or 8 old seasons back to back, and then I took a break from it that has lasted until now. Yeah, I may as well just start at the top of the list and just do. Is it fun though? Are you enjoying it? I've heard that Canada's Drag Race is also really good, and I haven't seen that either. I know that at least one of the queens was from Victoria, at some point. All Dragon? No. Dollar on. The drama on CDR. Oh. Not my tea. Glad others have fun with it. I got into Drag Race because I kind of did it backwards. I got into Drag Race because I got into watching Trixie and Katya on YouTube. And after having watched like a lot of that, and eventually I was like, you know what? I want to see how it started. I'm going to go back and see who this RuPaul person's all about. that Katya and Trixie keep mentioning. I did it completely backwards. We're gonna get into Gates of Hell. That's the one. I watched an episode, but there was no drag racing whatsoever. What do you mean? The intro has like the verm and like the cars. They do the joke. Next episode is the next 7. It was really great. Went to Trixie and Katya's show last year. So much fun. I think Katya is the celebrity that I feel the most, like, I don't know. I think that I stan the most, I guess you could say. Because, you know, she's a celebrity, so it's not like I know her. But I guess you would say that I relate. I find the energy extremely relatable. Watched some of Season 1, couldn't get into it. Even since Season 1 drag, it changed a bunch. I mean, Drag Race has been on forever, so Season 1 actually aired like a long time ago. I guess I can take the soul inhaler off my bars now, eh? I have not seen that, Elle. Apparently, I still need Priest tear gloves. Priest Elefar Tumas Sargeras tear gloves from Argentine somehow. Friend that recommended it to me had never seen Season 1. Yeah. Jumping to Season 5 is pretty good. Season 1, there's just there for historical purposes. It is, I mean, the thing about Season 1 that was kind of fun is that it seems to have been made with, like, no budget, which is just impressive. Like, it's kind of fun watching them do the whole thing with, you know, like a shoestring and a tin can. Any luck? No gloves. We're looking for an Abyss Worm, though. Used to be obsessed with Discovery Channel shows. I discovered I liked watching commentary YouTubers talk about shows and movies more than I liked actually watching the shows and movies myself. I watched Drew Gooden talk about Lost for like 45 minutes, and I've never even seen Lost, and I probably never will watch Lost. But, you know, seeing somebody break it down is apparently very engaging. Why is the music so quiet in here? Lost was the defining event of our generation. Lost, really worth it though. Oh man, don't get me started. I've been burned by a few shows that started out really, really, really engaging, and then the ending just felt like a total whiff, and that made me feel upset about all of the energy I had invested into it up until that point. And I was hesitant to watch Lost because it sounded like, to some perspectives, that was kind of what happened with it. Game of Thrones, it wasn't... I mean, I didn't love the ending, but, like, my investment had already petered off by then because I was just kind of like, all right, just do what you're gonna do. You gotta finish it. But, K-dramas, there was a couple of K-dramas. I forget which one. There was one of them. It was one of the supernatural ones, and this was a long time ago, so it wasn't one of the newer ones. But there was some K-drama that I was so into, and then the ending was so stupid and, like, betrayed everything that the show had, like, worked up to that point. And had the worst... It had some kind of a time travel thing where, like, the characters were old, but all they did was put gray wigs on them. It was extremely strange. And I was horrified because for some reason I'd gotten really into it, and then I was like, you're ending it like this? Ugh, I was upset. So I've been burned now. Ever since I started watching Twitch religiously, haven't played games as much. Still can't rewatch Game of Thrones just because I know how it ends. Yeah. I don't think I can watch Game of Thrones because I've gotten less resilient to watching violent TV. Like, when I was in my teens and early 20s, I didn't blink twice at it. But when I got older, I started having nightmares, which is kind of like the reverse, right? Like, aren't you supposed to have nightmares at violence when you're a child, and then you grow up, and then you're like, well, this is fine. Let's turn people into people soup. But I had the exact opposite. Like, I would watch those things in my teens, and it would be not a problem. But, like, once I got to the back half of my 20s, my early 30s now, I'm not it gives me nightmares. It messes me up, man. I had nightmares from, like, Squid Game. Squid Game was not a horror show, but it was a show with a lot of violence in it. And I had nightmares about it, like bad ones, for like a long time. I don't think I want to watch the second season. Seagale Shar, thank you very much for the 22-month reset. 34 minutes in solo queue. Pray for me. I hope it pops soon. Oh yeah. Guess I can open some more souls. Imagine if I get another whatchamacallit, Gale Spirit in, like, the leftover souls. What am I doing right now? I had just done Sassine, so I was going to do Sassine in another character. That's right. Much darker without any positivity. Yeah. Oh, man. It's been so long since I've seen Game of Thrones that I don't remember it super clearly. This one. If I don't get back into SOD at the last possible minute, I feel like that dream last night is kind of pushing me to go in that direction. If I don't do that, what am I working on next in retail? I think I've done about as many alts through the season as... I mean, I could try the Mistweaver, but I feel like I've kind of done my alts through season 3 thing. I could transmog farm in the Emerald Dream. But I feel like that could happen anytime, whereas if I'm going to get an SOD, it's kind of like a now or never thing. Gates of Hell. Yeah, I could do another random alt. I remember vividly having nightmares after playing Oblivion when I was a kid. Oh, man. You ever do the vampire questline? I thought I was going to be like a super cool vampire, but then it turned out that I just took damage whenever I went out into sunshine. More Rise! I could do more Rise, that's true. I don't know. I think I might be feeling the SOD itch. I don't know. I probably should find something to farm, but what if the thing I find I mean, we could do, next week, when the week turns over, we'll have another 17 attempts at shark bait. So that's something. Like, that's some more mount farming. There is also HC. Sounds like you're doing SOD. It does kind of sound like I'm doing SOD. I would be on a PvP server, which is gross, but that's where my friends are. And I would probably do... They don't have a warlock, and they also, like, desperately need a tank. And apparently, in SOD, warlocks can tank. Like, you can set up a warlock tank. And I guess I'm mild amounts of curious about that. I have a feeling it's not going to involve throwing any fruit. Add on to clean up my guild bank? I don't know of one. There's an organize button that'll put things into categories, but you might have to just go through and start pulling stuff out of there and selling it and deleting it and stuff. Pull the Archmage alt trigger, so many buttons. Yeah, because I think the other thing that I would do in retail would just be mount farming, but short of spamming rise keys, I can't realistically do it all week because I don't want to, like... I mean, I guess I could if I moved all my characters, but I kind of want to put the characters out at, you know, freehold, and then just do that every week without moving all of them. I'm going to have to move 7 of them back because I moved them all for the Soul Inhaler, but, like... I don't really want to juggle grinds because it means so much extra travel time. I would rather just do my 17 chances at freehold and then do something else for the rest of the week and then do it again when reset comes through. Jinx, thank you for the 45-month resub. Happy 2024, Hazel. Sounds like a new year with a new season of Discovery incoming. It could be fun. Plus, it's not like it's forever. It's not like I can only stream that. I could do a couple SOD days and a couple of retail days in a week. I could do SOD for a couple weeks and then go back to retail. I could do SOD exclusively off stream and then just talk about it. I don't know. There's options. New year, new WoW, new you. Still from Blazing Drake and Dragon Soul, and I could not hate Spine of Deathwing anymore. I do got SOD FOMO, I think. I think it's the that annoying person in me that wants to be needed. Hearing Flabby talk about how they still don't have like they still have to pug people for their weekly run. That's true. The ZG and the Mystery of Next thing both sound fun, but I would rather do them after we're within pre-patch. And they're kind of not going anywhere. I feel like I'm not in a big hurry to get around to that. I'll reckon. Finishing Secrets of Azeroth, I should probably... I need at least Tobias. I need to do the satchels for Tobias. Poor puppy dog needs to come home with me. It's just, what if instead of raiding in SOD, I just, like, made bread and laid on my couch and played Hearthstone Battlegrounds? Like, doesn't that sound comfier? I guess I can't stream making the bread and playing Hearthstone Battlegrounds. I could, but it would take some doing. I have tepid verses to sell, apparently. Wowhead has an excellent guide on Secrets of Azeroth. All kinds of coordinates and commands, and they'll point you everywhere you're going. Yeah, those fell off a lot. I could hold on to them for another season, or I could just sell them. Well, look, we got all this rousing air from killing all the extra air elementals in the area. Why people still show up. Oh, I need another 50 Dream Surge Coalescence on my... Here, we'll do another... Actually, hang on a second. I think the next character on my list is my Hunter. Yeah. So I need to buy a toy. I need just a little bit more Dream Surge Coalescence, which should be pretty easy to get. And then I need to buy a toy, actually. If I recall correctly, you did set up a kitchen stream for a little when you first moved in? Wasn't me. Don't think so. I don't think I've ever streamed from that kitchen. I've, like, posted videos from it. I posted member videos from it. Like, the $10 a month YouTube members have gotten a couple of videos that were kitchen adjacent. But I don't think I've set up a live stream. For S&D, are you going to not look at stuff for runes? I feel like I have to look them up at this point. If my goal is to be useful to others, I think that I am, like, obligated to look up what they are and where they are and, like, seek them out. Okay. Oh, I only need 20 more Dream Surge Coalescence. Surely we can do that. I could just do 2 dragon races and then have that done. Or, like, you know, 1 dragon race and a couple of the little orby things. So let's... Here, let's get our free elevation on the back of a regular flying mount and then get onto a dragon riding mount. Return to the hardcore lock. I'm going to do another fresh run at hardcore when Self-Found comes out. 4 hours later. I can't believe I've lived in this place for a couple of years already. That's bananas. Oh, look, I explored the Iron Plains. Imagine that. What is time? Who's to say? I'm just happy we're still here doing it. Is 2 not a couple? Couple of people? 2 people? Time is soup. I like a good lentil soup. But yeah, I moved back in 2021 and it's 2024 now. Mind you, I moved back at the end of 2021. But over 2 years, certainly. I guess that means it's been 3. I have a coworker that says a couple is more than 2. We argue daily. Oh, man. Yeah, let's do the dragon race. That'll get me at least 10 coalescence, I think. Lentil soup was one of my Costco boons. Oh, yeah. What did you get at Costco? What were you at Costco? I mean, keep your privacy by all means. You don't have to tell me. But if you did want to share, what was, like, the primary goal of Costco? Like, what is the thing that made you, aside from, like, going with people... Like, if there was one thing that was only available at Costco that you felt like you really wanted, that you can't get anywhere else, what's the move? What do you seek? Massive boxes of coffee. There we go. 513. We should be able to buy our last toy here. Egg bites. Gluten-free pizzas. Tequila. Soup. Been at my place for 2 years now as well. Alright. They have canned lean chicken breast. And as a person who needs lean protein for fitness, the brand they have is the best. I can understand that. My friend thinks I'm crazy. Not at all. That's a staple. Many canned soups for easy meals. Do you have a favorite brand of canned soups? I've started buying the Amy's ones. Ooh, it's gonna be magpies. It's in another, what is it, 22 minutes? 12 minutes? We're gold. Although, gold from what? I'm not seeing any gold world quests, but like the gold buff's gonna be up. But I don't see any world quests that have gold. Yeah, 0 gold missions. Never mind, never mind. Alert off. Oh, bummer. Alright, I'm here purchasing the Dream Surge Remnant toy. That's what I wanted, 500, because I already have the Friend Search Defenders. We have both the pets. We have the mount. We've been riding it around. I wanted the Remnant. Here, let's go to Dalaran, then we'll find out what it does. I don't think I have a PC command. I think the specs might be listed somewhere in the tabs under the stream, but if they're not, then I don't know. It's got a 3080 in it, if that makes you feel any better. Now I need to go to Costco. Dworic brand soups. European brand, don't know what the availability would be like. I don't know if I've seen that. Bunch of chicken soup and froze it in giant ice cube blocks that are supposed to be for whiskey tasting. Now have a freezer full of soup. Oh, you're set. Glass jars. Cool. Alright, let's use this new toy. That's what it does? Okay, I guess there's a little glitter. I was thinking it just makes my screen slightly yellow? I have to look at the Wowhead comments for this. How did the people feel? For 500. Dream Surge Remnant. 30s is the new 20s. That means you are 21. Happy birthday to me. Comments. There's 2 comments. Effect persists through death will apply a green tint to your graphics. People, like, barely had anything to say about the thing. That's it. Those are the only comments on this toy. Oh, that's, I suppose it's fine. I thought people were going to be disappointed that it was underwhelming for the amount of coalescence, but apparently not even enough people cared enough to be disappointed. Means you can drink in America. Oh boy. Nights. Gates of Hell. I'm in this weird place with drinking where I drink so infrequently that it feels silly that I drink at all. Like, I'd almost rather never drink just so I can be like, oh yeah, I just don't drink. Whereas if I drink like 3 to 5 drinks a year, not that it has to be a thing or anything, but like if I drink like 3 or 5 drinks within a given year, I feel like it's like, well then why do you need those ones? Why is it so important if it's almost never? And the answer is, I don't know. But like, I don't know. It feels like if you're going to drink that infrequently to begin with, you may as well not drink ever. But like for some reason, I'm unwilling to let go of like 3 to 5 annually. Which makes me wonder, do I have a 3 to 5 drink a year problem? Probably not, but like, I don't know. It's weird. Am I Team Wolverine or Team Husky? Like for like the digging machines? Or are we talking about Zambonis? What is this? Animals? Sometimes that one time a year is fun in itself. I guess so, yeah. I wanna feel like I could do that one night a year without like breaking a promise to myself, I suppose. Do I enjoy the 3 to 5 drinks? Less so than I used to, honestly. I've entered that phase of my life that many people discover when they reach a certain age where you, the following day are, even if you didn't overindulge, you just had like a standard amount, like a drink, you still, it ruins my night of sleep, which then ruins my following day. It's like, do you really want to have fun for an evening and then feel ill for like the next like 30 hours? Is it worth it? I don't think it's worth it. But I think it's partly just because I know it's not terribly good for my health, but it's also partly because it's I'm just too cheap to buy alcohol. It's expensive enough to live in all the other ways here. It is less expensive if I'm not trying to buy like beer or wine or anything. Or, you know, whiskey. Young enough for acne, old enough for 3-day hangovers. Few coworkers doing a dry January. That's cool. About to say, staying up too late versus being drunk. Even if I like drink and I go to sleep, the sleep that I get isn't nearly like, it's got nothing on like a nice sober sleep, especially with like a nice wind down time. I'm telling you, you got to turn the screens off at like 9 o'clock, and then you make yourself a nice pot of sleepy time tea, and you put on like a nice dim lamp, and you just like you know, maybe you read a book or you have a conversation or you just enjoy your tea for like an hour and then you go to bed and you sleep like, or like maybe like a nice evening walk outside. That can do it good. That can do a good job too. I don't know. I don't do it nearly as often as I should, but when I do it, I get the best night of sleep like ever. What do you do from 9 to 2 a.m.? This is assuming going to bed around 10 o'clock-ish. It takes me probably like 20 to 30 minutes to get, well, not 30, that's aggressive, but it takes me about 20 minutes to get ready for bed because I got to deal with my teeth and then I got to deal with Moose's teeth and I got to deal with Kira's teeth and I got to do at least a basic amount of skincare. I don't have to worry about my hair anymore. But it takes some time to get ready for bed, so I need to... And then also, once I get into bed, I like to read before I fall asleep, and I want to leave myself at least a half an hour to read, but sometimes longer if the book's good. So I like to get into bed early if I want to be asleep before 11. And it's nice to be asleep before 11. I don't always do it, but it's good when I can. So she's going home. But it's Alaska outside. That is a fair excuse. Why? What's wrong with your teeth? I mean... I had nothing because I brush them at night and I floss them and I use the water pick and I use the other thing. I have recessed gums because I spent a couple years in my teen years and young adult without a dentist. I didn't have any dental coverage and I didn't have a dentist and I also didn't floss as much as I should have when I was like 21, 22. And now I have permanently recessed gums that now need a lot of extra care to keep on top of if I want to avoid things like root canals and tooth extractions. I'm very picky about taking good care of my teeth because I want to keep them, and I've seen how ugly it can be and how unpleasant and upsetting it can be for somebody to go through not being able to keep them. I do take a lot of extra special care with my teeth, but I also think that everybody should. I'm annoying. I'm really annoying, and I think that everybody should. I mean, dental care is also like kind of to some extent a genetic thing. Some people just, for whatever reason, they have genetics where they can not do what I do and their teeth are just fine and their gums are fine. But I can't get away with it. My teeth get damaged. I get cavities. I get gum infections at the slightest provocation. So I have to be really careful to clean everything thoroughly. But I know a lot of people that get to their 30s and 40s and that then have to end up with like expensive dental surgery and a lot of extra dental care because they didn't keep up with flossing in their 20s or just because of bad luck. So I'm a big fan of recommending thorough dental care to everybody. I haven't brushed or flossed in 3 years. I mean, it's your teeth. You gotta decide for yourself what is right for you and your mouth. But if I could change one realistic thing about my life and go back in time, I don't know if I would have been able to get myself a dentist in my 20s because I don't think I had the resources for it. I just didn't have any insurance. But I would be, in light of that, I would have been a lot more careful about flossing. And that might have saved me a lot of grief. Don't worry, I'm kidding. Oh. Some people are like that. And there's lots of reasons. There's also mental health conditions that can make it very hard to keep up with dental hygiene. Which is understandable. It's just something that gets worse the longer you neglect it for. I'm going to $1. That's what I'm going to do. Good genetics, not straight, hard, no cavities ever. Nice. Coworker said his kid had soft teeth. When I saw the kid at the company picnic, he had a mouthful of sugar for 6 straight hours. Amazing what kind of care dentists can provide now too. And it seems very different between different dentists. I'm sure it's not like a generalization on the state of dentistry in a given country, but I have anecdotally at least received, and I guess I only had one dentist in the States, and they seemed very nice, but maybe they just didn't have very modern equipment or something. But the dentistry that I've received here in Canada, despite the fact that I'm paying for it out of pocket, it seems much more capable, and they have more procedures available to them, and they seem to be more like, let's fix this, and less like, let's slow this down so that they fall out of your mouth as late as possible. It's a little more optimism going on. You like my mug? Isn't there like a way to export it as like a thing? Link outfit. Copy to clipboard. Unrecognized command. No, I can't type /outfit. It's undead heritage with priest mythic tier Aberrus legs. Is what we found out. How is your undead so pale? Worms. Does not look good on a male High Mountain Tauren? Yeah, I think this is a real cool character. Let's see if she's cool enough to get lucky with a with an abyss worm. I don't know how many attempts I have on it, and it bothers me that I don't know. More than 2, yeah. Sounds about right. What kind of things do you like to stock up on before bad weather? Obviously, like, making sure, you know, staples like milk, bread, eggs. I have lots of cheese. I have lots of canned goods. It's not like we're going to be snowed in or anything, but just in case. I've got lots of beans. I've got lots of pet supplies. I stocked up on cat and dog food and everything pretty recently. Edibles. Are WoW people hyped for the Microsoft buyout? Some people are. The hype has missed me because I guess I just don't have a lot of faith that one corporate overlord is going to be any different than a different corporate overlord. But perhaps I'm just not optimistic enough. Water, coffee, K-cups, hot cocoa, beer, monster, and cigars. Hygiene stuff, bulky, annoying to bring home. Nature has no use for you once you're done reproducing. Man. Well, if nature never had any use for me, then I guess I get to do whatever I want. Yeah, having Bobby gone, I think, is undeniably. I don't think anybody's happy about Bobby. I think everybody would prefer if Bobby would get as far away from it as possible. But I think if Microsoft is smart, they won't put any particular specific person as the face of it, because it just doesn't end well. Keep a good stock of stuff because of the quakes, but always have bad weather. Do you ever get extra like milk and then freeze it so that it can be fresh for longer? Is that a thing? It's gone with so much money, it's hard to be excited about it. Yeah. Yeah, there is that. The good news is that if you felt like he was personally having an impact on the game, then you can rest assured that he will no longer be in control of it. But the bad news is that if he just wanted his life to not go well, then it's not like it's not like that's up to us. Take some milk out of the carton before you freeze it. Yeah, because it would expand. Milk not in bags in Victoria, no. Milk proteins would precipitate after being frozen? If you have room, you can freeze milk. It's fine to freeze milk, but I've never done it. Milk looks awful when you freeze it. It turns yellow. Really? Sometimes my milk gets milksicles because my fridge is set really cold because I was really sick of my milk spoiling like incredibly early. So I turn my fridge down quite low. And occasionally if my milk is like right next to the refrigerant element, then I get milksicles. Is powdered milk like affordable where you are, Katie? I had bought some recently to use in bread making, and it was exorbitantly expensive, and I was really offended because that's one of the things in life that was supposed to be cheap. Yeah, I also hope that that StarCraft makes some kind of a comeback. I feel like the IP has too much value to leave it to rot forever. Not affordable, needed it for recipe. Bummer. Try powdered garlic. Oh, no thanks. Fresh garlic is actually somewhat affordable. Don't worry, it'll come back as StarCraft Rumble. Oh boy. Think they could do a looter shooter? I wonder what a modern version of just like a traditional RTS would look like with them. I don't know. I wonder what would make it modern aside from just updated graphics. And maybe, I don't know. I feel like there's some nostalgia for, or at least I have some nostalgia. Microtransactions, yeah. I'm still waiting for one of these extra airy souls to give me a Gale Spirit. Bonus Gale Spirit. Extra Gale Spirit. Blizzard seems like they've been very behind the curve with chasing game format trends. They, the last one that they got on at the top of it, or like the last time that they made a format popular by themselves, or not by themselves, but like, was probably WoW. WoW was the last time that they got into a format at the height of its popularity. I feel like everything else, they've been kind of late to the game. And it shows. I wouldn't be surprised if they had some idea of doing a battle royale that they just canned because it took them too long to get something together. At least Battlegrounds managed to get in on the auto chess genre without missing it completely. Like, they managed to make a good enough version of it. That's true. Original Overwatch hit a moment. I don't know how well it's doing anymore. One could argue not necessarily the way to follow a trend before it's over, pave the way for one. Yeah, easier said than done, though. I wonder if they're ever going to do that again. Heroes of the Storm felt very much like they were chasing the success of, like, League of Legends and Dota. I was going to say Heroes of New Earth, but I feel like that one was already dead by then. Shocking man of Overwatch stuff at BlizzCon, though. I've just gotten so far out of the Overwatch scene that I don't have a good read on how well anything is being received with the community and how active stuff is. It's easy for someone like me who never plays it to be like, oh man, it died. But that doesn't mean it died. It just means that I'm not into it. I'm one person. Two of the 4 halls were Overwatch. That's true. Yeah, I guess if we're just talking community perception, then WoW's been dead. I have not ever tried a VR headset. I am not optimistic that I would have a nice time with it. I am very susceptible to motion sickness in video games. I am taking a couple stabs at the Abyss Worm for Mr. Sassy and Intimus Argyris. I'm queuing just a couple characters up for an LFR run of that wing. Just to see if I can get lucky, because I got the pet that I was farming. Yeah, I think eventually VR may reach a point where it's comfortable and widespread enough to get around a lot of the motion sickness issues. And also, I know for me, I will sometimes, especially with like a new RPG, I will get motion sickness for the first like 3 times that I play it. But if I can stick with it long enough and then also fine tune the settings to, you know, like maximize the field of view and minimize things like motion blur and camera shake and whatnot. If I can get the settings just right and then also stick with it for like a few different play sessions, eventually I kind of calibrate to it and it doesn't make me as ill anymore. So it's possible that that would be the case in VR, but you just got to power through the first couple days of it, which is just awful. What game has good community perception of it, though? Baldur's Gate. Basically, any game that's like Any game that's massive, that's a big game, is going to have a real uphill climb to get that kind of an opinion of it. Smaller games can do well because they don't have as many people that they have to impress. Like the first 2 sessions around 30 minutes with a break in between, and I adapt. It's snowing now. Record snow already. It'd be fine if it didn't snow the rest of the winter. Nope, no luck there. You know what I kind of want to do? Okay, one more run, but then I kind of want to look into customizing a character on Season of Discovery. I just need to remember and or ask what server it was that I was supposed to roll on. Okay. Wish there was a way to convert the magic system to a mana-based style. What's the resource if it's not mana? Is it cooldown based? Jump down into water. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but every time I do that, it doesn't feel faster. Because then it didn't feel that much faster to me. Gotta get a cunning pet out so that I can get my pathfinding bonus. Movement speed. Also, because Hampshire the goat's really cute. Or the Argali. Cooldowns, many spells are things you can only cast once per day. Oh. Why does that sound kind of fun to me? Am I just that much of a contrarian that sounds fun just because we're talking about it being different from WoW? They must be like a really cool spell if you can only cast it once per, like, you know, in-game day. That NPC will take you into the LFR of Legion raids. It'll take you into any Legion LFR wing. There are different NPCs that you can use to queue up for LFRs from other expansions. There's one in Oribos for Shadowlands. There's one in Borealis and Dazarlor for BFA. Different NPCs in different areas. But it won't get you into the other difficulties, LFR only. We did get the Gale Spirit. We've named it Bluster. Where are the NPCs? The Dalaran one is kind of by the Kirin Tor. It's kind of by the Violet Hold area on the opposite side of Violet Hold. The Borealis one is in Borealis, kind of near the inn on the outside of it. I don't know where the one in Dazarlor is. The Shadowlands one's in Oribos. The Legion one is in Oh, no, I just said Legion in Dalaran. There wasn't LFR back in... Oh, no, the WoD one is in Ashran? Or is it in the Garrison? I think it's in the Garrison. I haven't done WoD LFRs in, like, a million years. But yeah, if you, I bet you can Google WoW LFR NPCs, and WoW probably has a list of them somewhere. Interestingly, you can do Legion LFR and Wrath Dalaran. That is kind of cool. I didn't know that. My transmogging? I'm looking for an Abyss Worm. I want the mount that drops off Assassin. But I'm just taking one last try at it, and then I'm gonna take a swing at customizing a character in Season of Discovery. Take another try at it. I think I talked myself into it. I just have to ask a question. Hang on. Did I have a school lunchbox? Yeah, it was, you had like the little zip ones. They were like insulated fabric lunchboxes. Sometimes there would be a bottom part with a little ice pack in it and then a top part that was separate. And you would, you would zip your dairy stuff into the bottom part with the ice pack and then your crackers and stuff in the top part so it didn't get all wet. The world does need more no warlocks. This trinket always scares me because I always think that trinket is the mountain. It's not. It never has been. Was it branded? No. No, it was not branded. Do you still play Shadow Priest or is it too bad? Shadow Priest I think is fine. I just heal because I like healing. I'm a Holy Priest main because I enjoy that. It's not because I don't like anything else or that anything else isn't good. Alright. Hang on a second. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can do this. I might have to do it at a different time of day. We're gonna... Give me a sec here. World of Warcraft Classic. Back in my day, before insulation, we had metal lunchboxes. What would be your speculations for rewards in the Gilneas story? Oh, I don't know. Maybe Transmog? Ah, yes. Birch. Oh, rest in peace, Birch. Is this definitely what I'm playing? I think it is. I don't know if I'm going to tank or not. But I'm familiar with... I feel like I'll be excited about things that are different with Warlock because I spent so much time on Warlock and Hardcore. Oh, yeah. Pick the granny face color games. What else would you consider playing Hunter? I don't think they need another DPS. They need either a healer or a tank, but Flabby's kind of solo healing, so he's playing a priest of all things. I think that being something that can tank, and I think being a warlock is my best bet because I already know that I kind of like it, and it'll be kind of cool to see how it works. So... Plus I can be a gnome. The buns are kind of cute. Is that the look? Is that the move? Might be. Classic gnomes, man. Druid healer is good too if you wanted a night elf. I'm gnome. I want to be a gnome. Gnome. I need a name is what I need. I'm guessing I can't be Hazel. What is her name? Scrumpet! Oh my goodness. Hang on. I gotta think through my backlog of my favorite gnome names ever. Inksy is my priest main. But it's not a good warlock name. Is she allowed to be angry? How funny would that be? She can't be angry. I should say, I always have to come up with my own names. I pretty much never take name suggestions, so feel free to spam chat, but I'm not looking at it. I'm minimizing my chat window. I never, like, maybe for a battle pet, but for my own characters, I have to come up with it myself. It's one of those things. I suppose if you guess it and I don't read it and then I also name it, then you've won. So you can try and guess what I'm going to come up with. What is her name? She is a gnome warlock that may or may not end up tanking as a big old tanking demon looking form. Darn it. What are my names that I have saved on Lightbringer that I like? Squidgy, Shellfish. I could name her after like a cool animal. Like a what are those like worm looking things? The underwater ones. Okay, forget the worms. All right, she's Sharksy. Chomp. She's gonna be big and scary. I don't think that metamorphosis demons bite people, but you know, she just wants you to think that she might. Main internship. No. Nudie Brank. I was thinking of Nudie Brank, but I didn't name her Nudie Brank. It's got to be Barnacles the second. They could probably bite people, right? I guess Sharksy. I'm scrolling up. I'm finding out if that's true, Irchi. I don't believe you. The last thing you said is, Hazel, why is it called a widow's peak? Oh, man. All right. Friends call us Jaws. She's that's my headcanon for, is that she's got the most goofy TV thug accent. Hey, keep in line. Anyway, I'm gonna leave. I'm not actually gonna start this today, or if I do start it today, I'm starting it off stream. But I wanted to share the joy of the joy of character creation with you guys. I don't know whether or not I'm actually going to stick with this, but if I do, there may be some Season of Discovery streams in our future for next week, so something to look forward to. I'm sure she'll have some kind of adventure figuring out what on earth warlocks are supposed to do now that they've changed things. At least 3 of those letters. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for joining me this week. If you want to catch up on my stream VODs and you don't want to watch them on stinky old Twitch, I have a YouTube channel where I post my VODs in full, more or less. Sometimes I chop the breaks out of them that you can browse. But thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.